2021 G-Wagon G63 gas mileage highway review. I've done a couple of these videos. This is going to be a 100-mile loop, basically all highway. We did have a little slow start, but that's okay. But let me show you what we're doing right now. All right, guys, we are north on 95, basically going from Williamsburg to Washington, D.C. area. And it's a good time to do a 100-mile-an-hour, mile-per-gallon loop. 100-mile-an-hour. Geez Louise! 100-mile evaluation for miles per gallon on this little loop. So we're going to do a pretty good job maintaining speed here. It's kind of rolling hills on 95 in this area. Right now, we have already went 58 miles. We are averaging about 50 miles per hour. That's kind of thrown off a little bit because, again, when we started, we had to go about 10 miles an hour for, a couple miles, basically getting out of Williamsburg, between 10 to 30 miles an hour. But as these miles add up, our miles per hour will also increase. So 59 miles, hour 13 minutes, we are averaging 19.6 miles a gallon. For the G-Wagon with the new interiors, which obviously is 2021, so new interior. First off, Mercedes, you got to get this right, man. My wife has a GLS, a 2021 GLS 63, and her stack is the new Mercedes stack, right? This is a G-Wagon. It should be the cream of the crop, the best there is, and unfortunately it's not. This center stack is not as good as the new GLS or any of the other SUVs. This is an older version. I get it, G-Wagon, we don't upgrade. It is what it is. But when I'm on a road trip, this is the screen I like to set it on. That way the tachometer, the right side, I can basically watch exactly what's going on, my fuel economy at all times. And we're doing good. I mean, 19.8 miles per gallon in a G63 for 60 miles on a highway is not bad. We should crest 20 miles a gallon. I get 20 miles a gallon on a highway in this thing all the time. If you look at the EPA rating, as a matter of fact, I got the EPA rating right here. 14 city, 16 highway. Well, that's interesting because we are 61 miles into a road trip and we are getting 19.8 miles a gallon, going 65 miles an hour. We're a little decreased right now in miles per hour because we're heavy traffic, but that's what the cruise control is set on. If you look at the bottom left corner right there, 65 mile per hour set. So again, not too bad when you think about a vehicle with this capability. Obviously, 3 lockers, almost 600 horsepower. With a little tune, it might be a little over that, but that's okay. Almost 600 horsepower, over 600 foot-pounds of torque. It does pretty good. Can't say enough about the new bi-turbo V8 EQ boost. Oftentimes with this vehicle, it'll light up right here. With the GLS and the new digital stack, it'll light up in the bottom, but you'll see when it goes, oh, went a little off the road there, gave me a little correction. But what you'll see is it'll go into 4-cylinder mode all the time. Obviously, if anybody doesn't know G-Wagon tells me I have it in full-wheel drive, I'm well aware. There's no way to take it out of full-wheel drive. It's always, there you go, right there. So we're in 4-cylinder mode right now, cruising. It does it on its own. Obviously, I have no control over that, but that's it telling me right now it's decreased half the motor and it's using part of that EQ boost, the electric battery backup, to assist. So a lot of technology in this new G-Wagon over the last one. Obviously, there's a million videos on it. There's no comparison in ride quality. The ride quality of this versus the ride quality of a 2018 or below is just not comparable. This is far, far better and far faster. Anyway, quick little video there. We'll touch in later when we get about 100 miles into this trip and see where we're at. And just like that, Route 95 smacked us. Let me show you. Just north of Fredericksburg, and we've been creeping at about a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit for quite a while right now. Coming up on Kings Dominion area. No. Geez Louise, we're way north of Kings Dominion, but again, what's the word I'm looking for? Can't think of it, but we're just north of Fredericksburg and 95 is kicking in. So here's the final verdict before this super heavy traffic messes up our miles per gallon. As you can see over here on this side of 95, there's a lot going on. And if you can see in front of us right here, we're about to be sitting. So, what's the verdict? The verdict is 93 miles, 1 hour, 45 minutes, average speed 53 miles per hour with an average mile per gallon of 20.5. Now, I know people are gonna say, you're going too slow, you need to speed up. We've been cruising at 65, 70 miles an hour. You can see my cruise control lock right there at 65. But again, heavy traffic is heavy traffic. So we've been slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, speeding up. and that just offsets your miles per hour average. But EPA rates this car at 16 miles a gallon on the highway. You can clearly see this will do way better, right? Over here on the right side, you can see we have 70 miles to go to our destination. We have a continued range of 247 miles, and that's 247 miles with half tank gas. So when you're getting over 20 miles a gallon in this and you have a full tank, your cruising range is 450 to 500 miles, which is great. Anyway, guys, that's it. 2021 G-Wagon G63, 20 miles a gallon. They say it can't be done. All day, every day it can be done. Bonus footage. So we've been letting it run. We're at 108 miles, but we are now in legitimate bumper to bumper traffic where we know this is going to dramatically decrease. That's okay. So our closeout conclusion, still in 4-cylinder mode, 108 miles, 20.8 miles per gallon, average miles per hour 54, driving time 2 hours. Honestly speaking, as somebody that's owned Tahoes and Suburbans and other big vehicles, that's pretty good. 20.8 miles per gallon over 108 miles driven in a vehicle with this caliber of power and this size of motor and everything else. But it really goes to show what twin turbos, EQ boost, so the battery boost, and a 9-speed transmission can do for rolling brick, right? So it's not just about the horsepower numbers, it's how it's being delivered. And what I would say is AMG does a fantastic job for a vehicle that's literally a concrete block. To get 20 miles a gallon is pretty damn good.